Hello and welcome to another episode of the Online Course Coaching Podcast. And today I have a very special guest. Now, this guest joined me and actually helped me a lot when I was creating my Create a Successful Online course for Udemy. He was one of the 3 six-figure earners that was kind enough to interview for the course. Now, Phil was so prepared and he shared so much information. We didn't even get through all the interview questions because he just was sharing so much. And we said, we must get back on and talk about promotion because obviously, and Phil can go into more about where he is now, because when I spoke to him, and that was
like months ago. Yeah, 9 months ago.
He was 4 weeks out of becoming a full-time instructor. How special is that? Walking away from a job and into a full-time instructor. So with no further ado, I would really like to welcome Phil Ebiner to the show. Welcome, Phil.
Hey, thanks so much, Tim. It's a pleasure to be back. Now we're on Blab, so this is pretty cool for the people that are watching this on Blab right now. And yeah, it's been crazy. I was just reviewing that podcast we did. I was looking at my income numbers back then. I was kind of comparing it to now. And yeah, I left my full-time job about 4 weeks after that podcast in May of 2015 this year, and I've been doing this full-time since.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So for those listeners out there who don't know your history, can you just sort of give us a bit of feeling like where you were and now where you're at?
Yeah, definitely. So for people who don't know anything about me, I started teaching online courses in 2012. I started with Udemy, and I have a video creation background. I studied film production in college, and that's what I was doing full time for a few years. And I know a lot about video editing and motion graphics and Photoshop and all that kind of creative stuff, which lends itself well to teaching others how to use tools like Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. And so in 2012, I started teaching online courses. I just did it out of the blue because I heard about this Udemy thing. I didn't know much about it. I didn't have a website or anything before, no brand, no followers. And I was able to make $60 in that first month, and I got addicted to teaching online classes. And since then, I've created over 40 classes, and the income sort of just kept going up and up and up for me. I have been really lucky to have been doing this for a while now, kind of getting into it when Udemy was starting. And I think in March, I had 60,000 students on Udemy. Now I have over 110,000 in all my courses. And in March, I was averaging, when we spoke last, I was averaging about $10,000 on all of my different platforms. So on Udemy, I had my classes on Skillshare, Skillfeed, and some other ones back then. Now and especially since I left my full-time job in May, I've been able to create a lot more courses, and I'm averaging about between 15 to 20,000 per month. So it's been pretty crazy quitting my job. Well, I didn't really quit my job. I left my job because we were moving across the state, but it was a good opportunity to leave that job and just to focus on this full time, and it's been paying off. So I'm excited to talk more about the promotion aspect. That's something that I didn't. I would say that I was definitely not an expert on when I started, but I'm learning a lot how to use promotion, especially for Udemy classes, but also for my courses outside of Udemy. So that's my story.
That's absolutely, and it is very, very inspiring to 15 to 20,000 a month. And just before we get into the promotion side, just so that people can get a handle on how much work that entails, I guess you're working 80 hours a week to get that money.
See, that's the beautiful thing, is that while I am still spending about 40 hours a week working, I would say 30 of that is spent doing stuff related to creating online courses and promoting it. But it's all stuff that I love. It's making videos, posting them on YouTube. It's blogging about stuff I love. Just today, for example, I just got to go out to lunch with my wife in the middle of the day, and I went on a bike ride this morning. So I really do keep myself. I have a good schedule. I wake up in the morning around 7. I start working, and I'm usually done by 4 or 5. But I get to take breaks whenever I want. It's really a lucky, a great thing to do. And a lot of people are starting to teach online. I believe anybody can teach a course and slowly build their own passive income through it. And that's the beautiful thing too, is you create a course, you put it online, and aside from promoting it, you've done most of the work once you post it. And we talk about how you have an hourly wage of $25 or $30 or $10 or whatever it is for normal jobs here in the US. I think the average salary or the average hourly wage is $25 an hour. But for some of the hours that I put into creating an online course, I'm making hundreds of dollars, just because you get that exponential growth as time goes on, because you can continue to sell the course. So you can tell I'm just so amazed at this whole experience. I'm loving it, and yeah, it's been really cool.
No, that's fantastic. And the thing is, like, the point is there, and this is why we're going to be talking about promotion, because as you're saying, you are working still like a normal week, but it's your choice. And if you decide to go away for a holiday for two weeks or even 2 months, things aren't going to fall to pieces. So it's that freedom to do what you want. But people who are creative, they're not just going to stop creating because they're making money. They're always going to create, and people who want to help are always going to want to help people. But it's in your own time, at times that are convenient to you, which is the big thing about passive income. So let's talk about, because I do want to, because my listeners, some are Udemy type people, some are on Teachable, and some are on their own platform. So obviously this isn't, my show is not only about Udemy, it's the broader thing, but Udemy is the big elephant in the room. So where do you want to start this discussion on?
Yeah, well, I was writing down some things that my basic tools, the basic things I'm doing to promote my courses, the things that are working for me. So I can kind of talk. I have 3 main points that I want to talk about. One is just how I'm using my promotional announcements. How do I promote my actual Udemy courses? The second thing is promoting on my own site, in particular for hosting my courses using Teachable. And then the last thing I kind of want to talk about is how I've been able to recently start co-creating courses, and why the promotion just doubles when you have a co-instructor. So first, I just want to talk about Udemy specifically. I think a lot of instructors have a hard time knowing how to promote a course. The thing with Udemy, for those who don't know, when you promote your own course and you use your own unique URL that you get through your course site, you get 97% of the revenue from that. And otherwise, you're splitting it with Udemy 50-50. And so it's a really awesome thing to try to promote your own courses, because you can make a lot more money and you have more control about the price of your course. So as a lot of people know, Udemy does a lot of discounting. And so while I do suggest that instructors take part in the Udemy promotions and discounts, that's where a lot of my income comes from. I also think that we should be trying to promote our own courses at a little bit higher price point. So the first thing for me is that when I promote new courses, I'm always keeping my prices around $29 when I launch a new course. A lot of new instructors and a lot of instructors I see, they've fallen into the trap of decreasing their prices because Udemy is so heavy into discounting. So a lot of people will send promotional announcements with their courses for $7, for $2, for $5, for $9. And while that works for some people who already have a huge student base, and it probably would work for me because I have over 100,000 students who would potentially get my promotional announcements. For people who are starting out, you're not going to make a lot of money by promoting your course for $2. And then you're also training your student base to expect those lower prices. And so for me, my personal opinion is to make sure that when you're doing your own promotions, keep it at a price that you're comfortable selling it with. And for me, that has been $29 when I launch a new course. And I think my students expect that. And so when I have lately created new courses and promoted them through the promotional announcements, I get a lot of sales at $29. I was just talking to another instructor, Matt Bernstein, about this. And I was looking at a recent course launch where I did it at $19 versus one that I did at $29, or two that I did at $29. And I made so much more money when I launched it at $29. So there are people that are out there willing to pay that $29 price or just a higher price for your course, and you're just going to make a lot more money from that. I think the best thing for me and my strategy, which kind of goes into promotion on Udemy, is creating more courses. And so while I'm saying I want you guys to create more courses, it just lends itself to being able to promote, because you can cross promote your courses to your students. And that might be a little obvious, but for me, now I have over 40 courses on Udemy. I have students coming in from all different kind of areas. And so I have photographers coming into my classes. I have video creators. Now I'm getting a lot of online business creators coming into some of my classes. And when I promote a photography course, maybe the people that came into my video editing courses are interested in that. And so I think even having separate topic areas has lent itself to being fruitful for me. And so for me, I think my biggest advice for Udemy for promoting is to definitely use the promotional announcements. I try to send 2 per month. That's the limit, but use them because you have those 2 announcements. And then the last strategy I would say for when I launch a course, and a lot of people are using this strategy, is just having an increasing price and a limited amount of coupons and time when you promote a course, whether it's new or whether it's something you've had on. So what I mean by that is when I launch a course, I'll say, hey, everyone, this course I'm launching, it's brand new. For the first 10 people or for the first 50 people, you can get it at $29. For the next 50 people, you can get it at $39. And then usually I'll have one more set of 50 for $49. And by the way, all of these coupons go away at the end of next week. And even though there's a lot of people on Udemy who understand, well, there's going to be a big sale, there's going to be a Black Friday, there's going to be a Christmas sale that Udemy puts on, and I could probably get that course later for a cheaper price, there are still a lot of people that end up buying that course specifically because I have the limited amount of coupons and limited amount of time. And so that's a very basic thing that you can do, but I also see a lot of instructors not using that technique when they promote their own courses.
No, I like that. And that's something that I might change too, because I do that. That's a step up promotion. I think I come in around about, I like any numbers in 7. So I start with 27, then I go up to 47, 67. But the way that I did it was on a date, and I like your on the limited number of coupons, because once again you've got to create urgency. Before we go on to, I want to welcome everybody who has joined us today. Please feel free to enter your questions. So if you put a /Q and then type your question in, if it's on topic, Phil will answer it on the spot. And we will be opening up the seat at the end of the official interview for Q&A. So if you want a hot seat, if you want some coaching, ask Phil anything specific, we will be opening up that seat. So hang around, and Phil will also be offering some very, very special prices on some very, very valuable courses at the end as well. So, but yeah, please, this is the reason why we do these interviews on Blab, is to give you the opportunity for interaction. So please enter your questions during the interview, and saying if they're on topic, Phil will answer them, but hang around to the end and you can jump in the hot seat for some coaching. So sorry for cutting you off.
No, that's great. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. This is awesome. I'm loving this Blab format, and I've been doing some other interviews on Blab, and just being able to interact with the viewers is really great. But yeah, I like your point. So using 7, that's something that is interesting. I actually haven't used 7, the number 7, as a price for my promotions. I should do that. All of my courses, or most of my courses now, I try to make sure it's ends in a 7. I was just talking to another instructor, Dave Espino, who comes from a marketing background, and there's been a lot of research done for digital products that the 7, ending your price in a 7, works even better than a 9. And so we were kind of talking about why that is, but there have been studies, so I think it's smart to end your course prices in a 7, and I'm gonna have to try the promotions at that price as well, like 27, 7, or even like 17, 27, 37. That could work well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Like, I think it depends on the market you're trying to reach, because I know in Asia 8 is a lucky number, and I believe, I think in Europe or something, 7 is the number. So I think it's the market you're trying to reach. We have had a question come in.
This is a good one. So Mercedes is asking about, so she saw that I was teaching photography, which is a technical skill. But what about people who aren't teaching something technical? Can you still make money from courses that aren't technical? And maybe while I'm giving my first answer, you can type in the chat, what kind of courses are you doing right now? Or what, if you're not doing a course, what kind of skills are you doing or do you have right now? So Barb, hey Barb again. We were on Blab last night again, but yeah, sourdough bread. There's this lady that's making sourdough bread. And again, that could be seen as something technical, but it's more of a soft skill that does do really well. So you came in Kiski, oh gosh, I don't know how you pronounce, if that's a name, but motivation and success. I think it really depends on what type of course it is. It has to have a specific goal, a specific problem that you are solving for people. So I do see a lot of people who are doing the more coaching style classes, doing motivational speaking and how to live a better life, how to improve yourself in all sorts of different ways, financially, personally, relationship. For me, I'm trying to think of all my courses, if there's any that are more those sort of soft skills or those non-technical classes. Like you see, a lot of my classes are specific tools that I use while I am doing what I love, creating video. So I'm teaching video editing platforms. I'm I see Barb here, just here to support. Oh yeah, hey Barb. And so a lot of my courses are technical, and they do really well, because when someone wants to learn a specific skill to advance their career, they go on Udemy and they want to learn how to do web programming. They want to learn how to build websites. They want to learn how to make videos or take better photos. I do have a course that I taught on freelancing. That's probably my best course that's related to what you're doing, Mercedes. And it's done okay. It's basically a freelancing course where I taught people how to freelance, and it was like how to find your skill, how to find the freelance skill that you would be best at. But it didn't do as well as I would like. So for me, honestly, I don't have the best answer for me personally, but I do know that there are a lot of people making money doing those motivational courses, but I think you have to have a specific angle at it. Are you teaching specific yoga instructors how to be successful? Are you teaching specific types of business people how to be successful, how to make more money in a certain way, or how to be happier? It has to have like a specific goal in mind. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. You'll notice with all of my classes, I try to make it solve a problem. And Tim's back. Hey, Tim.
I did warn you, didn't I?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm still answering Mercedes' question, but
Awesome.
I was basically just saying that for a lot of my classes, they are technical, but it's all about finding a specific problem that you can solve. And so when someone buys a class because they want their problem to be solved, so whether it's a technical thing, like I need to learn how to edit a photo in Photoshop, or it's a motivational success type thing, I need to learn how to be less stressful. That's how you have to gear your course. And that goes through how you actually build the course. That goes through how you title, describe your course, and how you promote the course as well. So hopefully I answered that, Mercedes.
And I'll pick it up on the replay. Okay, next. So let's move on. So you've covered Udemy promotion. So let's get on to the other popular platforms. And well, Teachable is one of them, but there are others that offer similar setups. Now, things I want you to talk about in here too, in your promotions, is do you offer a tiered pricing, like a tiered offer? And I also noticed that in one of your offers, you offer a subscription model. Is that part of your Teachable courses?
So for Teachable, I just started hosting my courses on Teachable in October. I'd actually tried hosting them on Teachable, or when it was called Use Fedora, way back maybe like a year or so ago, right when they were starting. But I didn't have that much success at all. And I didn't spend enough time converting my Udemy class to my Teachable hosted class. But for me, so what I've done is I've basically put all of my courses that are on Udemy on Teachable. And so this is self-hosted on my own site, videoschoolonline.com. And when you go to videoschoolonline.com, there is a courses button. And then in my blog articles, I'll link to the courses. And now they're mostly linked to the courses on Teachable. I haven't done much direct promotion to my courses, to my audience yet, to my courses on Teachable. I've basically put them up there. I've let organic traffic come from my YouTube channel, from my blog posts. I've let them find my courses on Teachable. And surprisingly enough, since I've grown somewhat of an audience, people have found them and have started to actually purchase them. And I'm making full price sales, which is so awesome because people are actually willing to pay the price that I think is fair for my courses. So hopefully they're not watching right now, but there's people who are paying $10 for a class on Udemy. And then there's people that are paying $147 or $197 on my Teachable site. And so in terms of my promotion strategy with Teachable, it's kind of similar to what I'm doing with Udemy, where I'm writing blog articles to try to get people organically finding my courses. And all of my articles I try to make related to a topic that I teach on. I'll link to that course in those articles. And then I'll also post a lot of YouTube videos. I have been pretty religious at posting videos on YouTube over the past 3 years since I started teaching online. I've posted almost at least one video per week or more. So now I have over 200 videos on my YouTube channel. And that's just grown as similar to how my income has grown on Udemy. Now I have over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. And all I did was just continue to post relevant topics related to my courses on YouTube. And people, before I was pushing people, I would include a link on the YouTube video to the Udemy course. And there were actually people who would find my YouTube video, and then there was a discount coupon on the video for my Udemy course, and people would actually buy it. And so a lot of people do try to promote their courses on YouTube, I know, but I think it's more than, I think I've been successful because it's more than just, I post more than just videos to promote my Udemy courses. I just post a lot of free content, trying to build my audience and my brand. So with Teachable, you were asking about subscription model. I do, so I have all my courses for the same price as on Udemy, but I've bundled my courses into different segments on my Teachable site. So for people who don't know about Teachable, that's one really cool thing about them is you can bundle your courses and sell them as a bundle. And for me, I've had for a long time, I've had a lot of trouble trying to figure out and segment my audience because I'm teaching video related courses, I'm teaching photography related courses, and then I've started to teach online business type topics. And for a while on my website and through my promotions on Udemy, I just didn't know how to promote to all those different people. And so Tim's back, and I'm just talking about how for a while I was struggling with how to segment my audience on my own site and on Udemy because I have my video creator courses, I have my photography courses, and I have my online teaching courses. And so I've bundled all of those courses into those categories on Teachable, which is awesome. And I put it at a higher price so you can do a one-time fee. And for each of those bundles, it's $4.97. And so it's already a discount to get the bundle if compared to getting each course individually. But I've also recently added the option to do a subscription to those bundles. And right now I'm doing it very cheap. So if anyone's out there and wants to get the bundles, it's a really good offer right now because it's $9 a month. And some people might say, well, there's sites like Skillshare, there was Skillfeed, where you can pay $19 and get every single course on that platform for $19. Why would I go to your site and pay $9? Well, that's true. And a lot of my courses are on Skillshare, so you could pay the Skillshare price. But for people who are just coming to my site, they see that they're getting all these courses related to photography for $9 a month. That's a pretty good deal. And I've just started that last month, and I've already seen a few people start to purchase those packages. And I think the subscription model could be really awesome for me. Or for anyone, because, if I get 100 subscribers to one of those packages, that's $900 a month. If I can get 1,000 people to subscribe to those courses, that's $9,000 a month. And that's going to be a lot of work to get that many subscribers. And maybe I'll increase the price a little bit. But the other thing with the courses on my own site with those subscriptions is you get a more personal interaction with me. I pay more attention to those courses versus the courses on Skillshare. Not that I don't pay attention to Skillshare, but I just want to add a little bit more benefit to my courses on my Teachable site. And in the future, I do want to include other bonuses and maybe try to make my courses that are on my own site better than what you could get on Udemy. Because that's a fear too, is that someone will see my course on Udemy and on my site, and they'll obviously get it on Udemy if they have a discount. So I want to make it somehow different to differentiate it from on Udemy to try to make it look better. But the subscription model has helped so far. I think the one worry, or the thing that I think is good for me, is that I have so many courses. I have in each of those bundles at least 8 or 9 courses. In my video creation bundle, I have over, I think, like 15 courses in that bundle. And so I'm going to take a sip of water right now. But if you only have a couple courses, I don't think a subscription-based bundle would work. But a bundle could still work. If you have related courses, you could still bundle them together and basically put them up for a little bit better price than buying them individually, but get them, but still do the bundle.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I might switch over to Firefox because Chrome, I'm actually not crashing, just the Chrome browser is just bombing out. So I might have to change browsers in a minute. I just got a lot of people say that when they're doing their teachable courses, that you shouldn't offer the same as you've got on Udemy because of what you're talking about. So, what you've got the same offering between Udemy and Teachable?
I do, and I think it would be better to have maybe something a little different, but I have a lot of people coming to my site who might have never been on Udemy. And so for me, it's kind of like, why not have it on my own site, the same course, in case they want to purchase it from my own site. And so, yeah, I don't have like a real strong opinion about why you wouldn't want to do that. The key thing, I think, is to figure out where you're going to direct outside traffic. Are you going to promote, say you're writing a blog post, or say you're on YouTube, are you going to direct them to your Udemy course, or are you going to direct them to your Teachable course? And that's a big question. I think for me, I've slowly transitioned to starting to promote my courses on Teachable, but Udemy has done so well for me that I don't want to leave that behind, especially right now when they're still growing, when my income on Udemy is still growing, and there's still so much of an opportunity. As with all things, who knows if Udemy is going to be around in 10 years or 5 years or 2 years. We saw SkillFeed, which wasn't as big as Udemy at all, but it was still a great site that was earning me about $2,000 a month. They disappeared in a couple months. And so I don't want to continue to keep all my eggs in one basket on Udemy. I want to make sure that I'm prepared for that day it goes away. And Barb is asking, I thought it was against Udemy policy to post our courses offered there as for sale on another platform. That is actually not true. Yeah, you own the content. You can post it wherever you want. You can post the same exact course wherever. That's one of the good things about Udemy, is that you do have that opportunity to do that. And so that's why I have my courses on Udemy. I have them on Skillshare. I reorganized them on Skillshare so that's more geared to their audience. But yeah, as Tim says, as long as it's not free, you can't offer a paid course on Udemy for free on another platform. So yeah.
That's good. I think where I'm going, and this is very, with Teachable, you've got so much more flexibility. Now you've got your bundling, you've got your subscription, and you've got ways to bring in things. And what I'm looking at in my future courses is I'm looking at providing a live coaching element. So I'm actually incorporating webinars as part of the deal. And you can do that on Teachable. I'm actually going through a process now where I'm setting up my own membership site, and I'm just hosting through I've got optimized press, so I'm not even using an LMS at all. I'm just going back to basics, because I'm going through Eben Pagan's digital product blueprint that's cost me. Now, if you talk about people being willing to pay for digital products, that one course cost me $1,997 US, right? And it's worth its weight in gold. Obviously, there's a marketing component and a production, so it's worth its weight in gold. But so I'm going through that process. I'm not going to spend that amount of money and then not follow the advice. But I think the big thing is that with Teachable, you've got so much more flexibility. Or if you've got your own membership site, and I think membership sites and subscription models, they're great to drip feed. And I like the way that you're saying it. You're talking about content marketing, and if you're going to bring people organically to your site, then you want to keep them on your site, and the best way to keep them on your site is to have something like Udemy or a membership site just to slide them straight over to. I'm a big fan. Like if you ever listen to my podcast, I'm a big fan of getting value for your hard work and not stuff going out at $10. So
yeah, totally. And I think I've become an online instructor, and I guess you can call me, I'm learning online marketing, online entrepreneur, whatever you want to call me. I've become who I am through Udemy. This is the first time I've ever done any sort of online digital product. There's a whole different segment of people who have done online courses and online marketing that have done it a different way, where you have a course that's priced, like you said, almost $2,000 or $1,000 or way higher. And there is a process of having a webinar, a free webinar that you get people to attend and promote your course through that webinar, get them on an email list, get them on a sequence. And that's something that I'm currently exploring. I'm putting together some more bigger ticket items that include coaching like you're talking about, that would include some webinars as well. But that's something I didn't know about before I started teaching on Udemy. And so I think that's how I'm going to try to do it. There's still people willing to pay like you did. You paid $2,000 for a course, and it sounds like it was worth it for you, especially if you're taking action and using what you learned. And I think I could try to provide something like that as well. One thing that I'm doing with promotion on Teachable and on Udemy as well is, since I've had a lot of courses on the platform for a while, I need to update them. They're getting old. Also, like, I taught a lot different 3 years ago versus now. I was a lot worse than I am now. The quality of the video and the audio and everything was worse. And so I'm updating my classes, not just to update them, but to add new content that I didn't have before. And for a couple of my classes, specifically my online teaching class and my photography class, I've added new sections. So for example, for my photography class, a lot of students wanted to learn how to do long exposure photography. That's a certain type of photography that you can do at night. You can also do it during the day, but I didn't have lessons on that. And so I went out and I created a full section, like 8 or 9 lessons on long exposure photography. I added it to my full photography course, but I also posted just those lessons as a free course on Udemy and on my own Teachable site. And from there, I try to get people onto my full photography class. The people who are in the full photography class get the benefit of getting more content. They like me more now because I'm adding value to the course that they're already in, that they already paid for. But I'm also getting a lot of people on Udemy enrolled in that free course. And on my Teachable course, I'm getting a lot of people signing up for that free course as well. And the best thing about Teachable is that we get their emails. And I haven't started to put together any marketing towards the students on my Teachable classes, on my free classes yet. But that's another big thing that I'm doing in 2016 is focusing on promoting my free courses on Teachable. And then I'm going to get all my free students, put them in some sort of email sequence that promotes the full course. And so for all the instructors out there, the good idea is to try to update some of your old courses and then take those updates, create a mini course out of that. And that's the strategy that I've done for a long time, is just creating free content, giving it away, and building my brand and my student base that way.
Awesome. That's why I say to Mercedes, we will be opening up that seat at the end of the interview, but no, Phil and I always fall down rabbit holes. So we really want to let Phil get all his information out, but we will get you into that seat as soon as we finish the interview. So the third point that you wanted to go into, Phil.
Yeah. So the last thing, again, it's combined promotion with course creation, but I've been doing a lot of co-instructing with other course instructors. And the most obvious benefit is that if you're teaching a class with someone else on Udemy or online that has their own audience, they're going to be able to promote the course to their own students. And so take me, who has 110,000 students on Udemy. If I co-teach a course with someone with 20,000 or 30,000 students, I'm being opened up to a brand new audience that way. I've co-taught a few courses just with friends of mine who haven't been on Udemy, who don't have their own brand or website or anything like that. And that's been good for me because I'm able to teach a course with someone that has an expertise that I might not have. So the way that I've been doing a lot of these co-instructed courses is I'm kind of the narrator of the course. I introduce the topic. I'll add some thoughts and some lessons here and there, but they're really the expert that is teaching the class. but I'm also doing all the promotion. I'm doing all the editing of the lessons. And so we split the revenue 50-50, but that's just one way to increase the amount of courses that you have. And then lately I've been starting to do some co-instructing courses with other Udemy instructors, and that's worked pretty well. I think you have to be careful and know, you definitely have to be honest with yourself and with the other person and think, is this really a good idea? Is this beneficial for my students? Am I doing this for the right reason? Don't just do it to use another instructor's audience. I've had people come to me, ask if I wanted to co-instruct a course with them. And I look at their content, and not that I'm going to just not teach a course with you because your content's not as good as mine in terms of quality, but I also need to make sure that it makes sense. So someone came to me and asked if I wanted to teach a course on, what was it? It was some sort of motivational topic, like Mercedes was asking about success. And I'm not a motivational coach. I'm not someone who feels comfortable teaching that topic. And they were just looking to I don't know if this was really true, but I feel like they were just using me to use my audience. And that's something that you have to be careful about, is just make sure that it's a good idea. Make sure that it's a topic that your students, your current students would be interested in, because that's the only way promotions work, is if you promote courses to your students that they might be interested in. So just ask people, though. That's one thing, is you can just ask. And it's the same thing that goes to growing your YouTube channel or your website. It's great to do guest posts. It's great to do collaborations on YouTube to grow your channel. It's one of the easiest ways to grow your audience. And it could be doing a co-instructed course. It could be doing a video together, or it could be doing what like Tim's doing right here and interviewing different people. And you can interview people about whatever course topics you have, and their audience will come to you, and you'll be able to grow your own brand that way.
See, it was my second Udemy course, was an interview style course on how to create successful online courses. And I selected 3 6-figure income, like, so people who are making 6 figures through course sales alone, and interviewed them on how they did it. So it wasn't this is the way you do a video, this is the way you do it. It was more like a mindset, and like anybody can do it. And it's proven very inspirational. And a number of people have contacted me saying that, just talking to people it's everyday people who've gone out there and started earning 6 figures, anybody can do it. So it is very inspirational. So yeah, you can do that. And I also just want to come back to when you're saying, where are you going to send your traffic? Are you going to send them to Udemy, or are you going to send them to your own site? Well, for me, it's a hands down. You're going to send them to your own site, and you're going to keep them on the site, because there's a couple of things. Firstly, if you're doing if you're going to be spending money on promotion, like say Facebook advertising or anything like that, if you go to your Udemy landing page and they're reading down your information, they've also got people also bought these courses, so they could click off your landing page onto another instructor's course, and now you've just paid Facebook to send them to Udemy to buy somebody else's course. So if you're spending any money in your marketing, you've got to keep it
definitely,
and also capture email addresses, because that's one thing Udemy doesn't give you. Udemy doesn't give you the email addresses. So have some form, like I think as an instructor, you have to have a website, you have to have a web presence. You should have a blog, because it's saying like Phil's very successful. And I actually subscribe to Phil's blog. So very successful in content marketing, creating valuable content. And don't be afraid to put your best stuff out there for free. People will respect and go, well, if he's giving that away for nothing, what's he going to give us for what we pay for? So
yeah, totally. And speaking of paying for traffic, paying for growing your audience, that's something that I have started to do. Is on Facebook, I'm starting to promote some of my free courses on Teachable, just to try to get people into them. I've also started doing the retargeting advertisements, so that if anyone does visit my Teachable course page, but they don't buy it, they'll hopefully see an ad on Facebook that targets them. I'm going to post a link for everyone on Blab. I think you've done an interview with Rob Cubbin.
I have.
Before. Yeah, Rob is an amazing guy, and he, just like we're talking about, he gives out so much great free content. He posted on Facebook the other day about how he was doing Facebook retargeting for his own site. He doesn't host on Teachable, but he does host on his own site. And he was making I think it was $9 sales or $27 sales, but paying only 50 cents a click for it. And so here's a video that he posted on his YouTube channel. I'll just type in, that's Rob Cubbin's Facebook ad retargeting tutorial. Retargeting tutorial. And this is what I use to create my own Facebook retargeted ads, because it is a little confusing when you're starting. You have to put the pixel, and there's so much you have to learn how to do, but you have to put what they call a pixel on your own site so that Facebook can basically see these are the people who have been to your site, and now I can direct an ad to that person. So another example of a person who is, again, he could have created a course, and I would have paid for this course on how to use how to do Facebook retargeting, because it was so confusing for me. I didn't know how to do it, but he went out and created a free tutorial for it that is better than anyone else's that I've seen. So a great example of content marketing. So I don't know, Tim, are you still there? Tim is logging back on, but let's see. So, okay, there you are, Tim.
Yeah.
I was just wrapping up about how great Rob is with content marketing. How this video he put out, I would have paid for a course of his on Facebook retargeting, but he just put it out for free. So
nice. He's a great man. Okay, we're going to firstly. Thank you, Phil, for once again sharing so much. I always love speaking with Phil because it's just like your mind just goes. There's so much information. It's fantastic. I always appreciate that. Now we are opening up the seat, and I know Mercedes. If Mercedes is still with us, you have been wanting to jump in, so we will give you priority if you want to click on that call in button. But now we'll open up for general Q&A for anybody who wants to jump in.
So Barbara was talking about, she posted about, there is something to be said though about the power of Udemy and branding and marketing on Udemy. They have 8 or maybe 9 million subscribers now, and that's continuing to grow. You think 8 million is a lot of students, but you think about the population of the world, and they're continuing to open up to new markets. There's a potential for having hundreds of millions of people on this site. So while I'm not, like I said before, while I'm starting to promote my courses on my own site, build that audience, I still am using Udemy to grow my own brand. And there's ways to legitimately, using under the rules of Udemy, get people onto your own site. Some of those are using the last lecture in your courses. Now you're allowed to promote basically anything. You can direct people to your website. And then just throughout your courses, you can put at the end of your video, and I think even a watermark, you can still put your website address. You can use educational announcements to send people to blog articles that you're doing, to blabs if you're doing blabs, to anything that is free, basically. And that's just a good way to convert Udemy students to your own audience. But yeah, Udemy is strong. It's growing. They just moved into new offices in San Francisco, so they must be doing pretty well. I've actually been to their offices from the very beginning, and they've moved, I think, 3 times now, or they've moved twice. They've been in 3 places since I knew them. And each time the office gets bigger and better, and the workers there are just so happy. And that's the best thing to see, is that you see the Udemy workers, and they're happy, and they're excited about helping us instructors out. They're excited about helping out the students, and that's what you want is a company that's there to help you out. And even though there's lots of rules and things that instructors get upset about, in the end, all they're trying to do is make it a better place for students and instructors. And I honestly believe that 99% of the stuff they're doing is going to be beneficial in the end and has helped me become a better teacher and make more money as an instructor. So,
yeah, no, that's good. So once again, anybody who wants to jump into that hot seat and get some coaching, talk to Phil, ask a question directly, please do so.
Mercedes did have a question here. I'll bring it up. She did ask before, do you have a separate channel for the online courses or a combined channel for everything? I'm going to answer, assuming you're talking about just for myself personally. So I do have my brand, which is videoschoolonline.com. I'll post a link to that. And I do put, basically up till now, I put everything. I've blogged about my online courses. I've blogged about my life. I blog about everything on there. And that's something that I've kind of just learned from people that I follow. I like following people that teach me what I want to learn, whether it's how to do online marketing or how to, I don't know, I follow people who do video stuff. But I like showing my personal side. I like not just keeping it about the one thing that I'm teaching. And maybe there's people who get turned off by that, but I think showing your personality is good. I did just recently design my own website for my personal self, which is philebiner.com. I'll post that too. And then I'll talk about these links that Tim is adding to the stream. But philebiner.com used to be just a site that talked about my video work. And that's still what I do. I do a lot of freelance video editing and graphics work. But most people who are searching for me online now are people who are interested in me, Phil Ebiner, the online instructor. And so I redesigned my philebiner.com site to be very simplified. It gives my backstory, but it also just talks to or sends people to my online course stuff as well. So we got Colarelli coming on.
Hey, Cola.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing? Hey, Phil. I'm good, man. I'm good. Sorry, I saw the chair open for a while, so I thought I'd jump in and say hi.
Thanks, Cola.
Yeah.
Cola's been a long time supporter. He's joined me on a number of Blab interviews, so always appreciate your support.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, I've got a question then, which is, I don't know if you've covered it already because I kind of joined a bit late and I was doing other things. Pricing. How do you decide on your pricing for your courses?
And are you talking about on Udemy or off Udemy or both, or just in general?
I mean, generally, I know, I guess you've got to think specifically about pricing on Udemy because it's a platform with where they're going to be advertising other people next to your own course.
Yeah.
But so I guess specifically for Udemy, but just generally anyway.
Yeah, I think like a lot of instructors, on Udemy and off, I try to make my classes, they are premium and I price them premium, even though most of my sales on Udemy honestly are discounted. But my prices now, I think all of them end in 7, or they should. I need to check that, but they all end in 7 now. So I have courses that are 97, 197, 297, and even 47. And the reason why I personally differentiate the prices is because I do have courses that are more robust and courses that are more smaller. And I want people to know that. I want people to come to my channel and see that there is a difference in the courses. If I priced all my courses at $297, which I see some people doing, they put every single course of theirs at $300 or at $299 or $297. Well, that might work for them, but for me, I would feel confused as a buyer, like, oh, well, are all these courses the same quality? So I kind of like to differentiate my courses and to make it seem like there is a difference, which there actually is a difference. But for me, again, I think I try to, if it is a full course, kind of like a complete course that covers an entire topic, I price it at $297. And if it's like a smaller course, I do it cheaper. I've tried lowering the prices to get more organic sales. That's something that I think someone from Udemy suggested that I try just to lower my prices. But I was lowering my prices to $49, $29, even $19 for some of my bigger courses, and I just wasn't getting organic sales on Udemy. So I figured I might as well put the prices back up, and people think they're getting a better deal when they get those do the Udemy discount for $9 or $19 or whatever. So that's my strategy. I don't know. It's very similar to, I think, what a lot of people are doing.
That's interesting, though. No, so I was just saying that in a course I did by Scott Duffy. Scott Duffy has this Udemy SEO course. And it's interesting that Udemy sort of said to drop your courses, because he said to rank, like he's sort of worked out the algorithm to a degree as best you can through experimentation. But he said that he found that the higher priced courses, along with other things, will actually rank higher too, because obviously organically, if Udemy is going to take 50%, they're going to pop a high price course up there in the top 3. So it's a thing, and it's also interesting that you say that I talk about a disconnect, and I talk about two shiny red Ferraris that are identical in every way. So they're identical year, model, and mileage, and one's got a $250,000 price tag, and the other's got a $30,000 price tag. And you look at the $30,000 and you go, what's wrong with it? Is it stolen? Is it broken?
Yeah, exactly.
so all of a sudden there's a disconnect in the mind of the buyer. They're like the BS filter just goes straight up. Whereas when they're looking at, if they had the money in the bank and they were going to make the purchase, they would, 9 times out of 10, they'd actually go for the higher price. So if you are presenting something as a quality product, and then you put a rock basement price on it, there is a disconnect. But if you put a quality price on it, and then it gets discounted, so they're saying, okay, this normally goes for $297, now you get it today for $10. That's a totally different story.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Phil, I was going to ask, because I didn't know whether you also sell your course outside of Udemy, in which case do you have a different pricing for there?
Yeah, so I do sell. I did post my courses using Teachable on my own site, and up until recently, they were all the same price. And I think they should be the same prices on Udemy, because I don't want people to see the same course priced differently. I think that will create questions that I won't be able to really answer. I think eventually I want to add more to my classes on my own site and price them higher, so that there actually is a reason why I price higher. But yeah, I'm pricing the same, and I don't think you were on when I was talking about it, but I've been getting full price sales with little marketing on my own site. I have been blogging for like 3 years and posting weekly articles. And I have like over 10,000 visitors to my site every month, which for me seems awesome. I think a lot of people will be like, well, that's not that much traffic, but for me, it's awesome. And people just organically go to my courses page, and I've been getting some full price sales on that site. And then, yeah, just to add about the premium pricing, that's interesting about what Scott Duffy said about the algorithm. That kind of makes sense, that they would want to have the higher price courses up first. And I know Alan Hill, he's had so much success on Udemy, and he does price all of his courses at $300. And while most online marketers would say end in a 7 or at least end in a 9, his courses are $300. And maybe that's part of the reason, is that helps his ranking. And he gets so many people buying his courses. So that he might be onto something.
That's it.
Yeah. I've never heard of the ending in 7. I've never heard of the ending in 7 option, actually. You always hear about 9. So has anyone tested, 297 versus 299, for instance?
Yeah, I think I was talking to Dave Espino, another instructor. We actually have a Blab show on Thursdays now, and I don't know what he got it from, but he did know that there were some big marketers who do hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in sale, and they have price tested, and they said that 297 works better. I mean, we didn't know really the reason why. My personal opinion is that if you have a something that's costs $19 versus $17, obviously 17 sounds better. But if it was anything lower than 17, if it was 16 or even 15, I think as a buyer, I would say, well, why isn't it $9 or why isn't it $10? So 7 is close enough to that next price, the $20, that it seems like you're getting a deal for it, but it's still far enough away from the lower price that you're not wondering why it's even cheaper. So that's my own personal opinion, but there have been people that have studied it.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Well, I say no. Numerology. I said I have heard. I don't know the source, but I've been told that in Europe 7 is a lucky number. Like saying, like in Asia 8 is a lucky number. So I think it depends on who you're marketing. Like if you were marketing to Asia, you'd probably be ending in 8.
Yeah.
So it really depends on on your market. But I know personally, and I see it a lot, that a lot of marketers end in 7, and they're very, very successful. So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
all right, well, that was me. I'll jump off and let somebody else come in.
Thanks, Colin.
Nice
always great speaking to you.
All right. Yeah, and you. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Barb posted an interesting comment about masterclass.com, which they've been doing a ton of advertising apparently, because I've seen their advertisements on YouTube and online and maybe even on TV, but they're getting people like Kevin Spacey and big name actors and directors and people in each industry to teach what they call master classes. And the Kevin Spacey class, I guess, is $90, and he'll teach you how to be a better actor. Yeah, it was on the radio. I was listening, and they're talking about it. And so when you see a class taught by Kevin Spacey on acting for $90, and then you see maybe on Udemy, I'm sure there are acting classes that are $200, $300. Which class are you going to really take? And so it is interesting. I don't know if the audience for masterclass and Udemy is the same. I'm sure there might be some crossover that will see like the classes on masterclass and say, oh, well, I'm not going to buy on Udemy. But hopefully, I think there are enough people on Udemy that will never see or hear about masterclass that it'll be okay. I mean, I have a class called Photography Masterclass, and one of the biggest complaints, I'll say honestly, is that people complain that it's not a masterclass. It doesn't teach you every single thing about photography, and it's more geared towards beginners. But it was marketing that I came up with through Udemy. They like that title, and we're trying to make it a masterclass. We're adding content to it, but it's really hard to teach a class that makes everyone happy, that teaches every single thing about a specific topic. So it's marketing. Yeah, it's the title. I think it's catchy. But yeah, I don't know. That masterclass.com is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. But once again, how many books do you buy on a subject? How many courses? Like I said, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Like I say, I can tell you in the last 12 months, I spent $2,500 US on Inner Circle marketing course with Alex Jeffries. I've spent $1,997 with Evan Pagan. I've spent another $1,000 with a guy called Ray Edwards on coding. That's a lot. And so those are the 3 premium courses I bought in the last 12 months. That's not to talk about the money I've spent on Udemy courses and other bits and pieces. I bought Ryan Levesque's course on the funnel formula for $187. 7 again. So so masterclass come out. If there was something there that got my interest, yeah, I'd buy it, but I wouldn't buy it to the exclusion of whatever else is offered on the internet. And if you look at your bookshelf, like you don't just have.
Oh, we just lost him. But I think what he was gonna say is that you don't just have Kevin Spacey books. You have books on acting written by other people, and that's totally. I think for me, I have a lot of classes or books related to personal finance and growing businesses that I get from the library or that I buy that aren't from famous people that I know. So, oh, Tim's back.
Chrome just went, no, Chrome just goes, oh, snap or something like that. I'm going to be saying other words than snap in a minute.
They got to get that high-speed internet down there.
Well, I said I actually do have, like, where I'm living, I can only get ADSL. It's not in a great area. We're a little bit far away from the exchange. So I've got this supercomputer that's cost me a couple of $1,000 to have custom built, and I've still got this trouble. But
yeah,
it's great when it comes to creating online courses. Like my old laptop used to take 3 days to render an hour's worth of video, and now I do it in about 5 minutes. So, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, and Barb makes a good point about Kevin Spacey not being approachable. And this goes for not just classes, but one, Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income. A lot of people know him. He always talks about on his podcast, he likes having the Derek Halperns, the Tim Ferrisses, these people who are famous in this world. But I think for me personally, and he talks about his audience, love the stories where it's normal people that are creating online businesses. And I think it's the same thing for classes. I would rather be, maybe I'd want both, but I would enjoy a class taught by a normal person that has gained skills and is now teaching it just as much or more than the guru or the person that everyone knows that is teaching that class. So there's something to be said for normal people teaching skills.
No, I'm a big believer in that too. And I think they say, you don't have to be an expert. And I don't know who coined this saying now, because I've heard two different people say it and maybe claim it, but they're saying like a fourth grader is an expert to a second grader. And if you're just that little bit ahead, and some people actually prefer that the journey is still very fresh for you. So you have only, like somebody who did it 10, 15 years ago, technology was different, the market was different, everything was different. But if somebody just did this 2 weeks ago, a month ago, they've had those challenges recently. They've had those challenges in the current environment, and they've overcome them. And now they're teaching you, look, I was here and now I'm there, and this is how I got there. People, that is more meaningful than somebody who's got $100 million saying, well, this is how I made my fortune 15 years ago.
Yeah, totally. And that's why some of my courses have done so well. And that's also why some of my older courses aren't doing as well anymore, because just in the past 3 years, some of the programs that I use have changed. Other people have come on and taught better courses than me, or more advanced courses. But I've also advanced myself too. So there's an opportunity to create a new course or update my courses. A lot of my courses aren't as evergreen as I would like them to be. There are some topics that are evergreen. I would say photography in general is a pretty evergreen topic, but there's new cameras, there's new techniques coming all the time. So that's one piece of advice, though, is to try to create a course that is evergreen so that you can sell it for the next at least 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're coming up to, I don't know, don't even have a
little
clock.
Over an hour.
Yeah,
a little over an hour.
So is there anything that you particularly, just to start to wrap up, is there any point in particular that you really want to sort of drum home?
I think my biggest thing, well, Barb sounds like she wants to call in, and she can. I'll just say one point, though. I think the biggest thing that I'm doing right now to promote my courses is to, on my own site, have free courses that I will use to promote a paid course. And an example is the links that you posted. Not that I'm going to try to promote my paid course to you, because this is really good free content, but this course here is a free. I created like 12 videos or so with what I think are the top 12 tips for teaching online courses right now. I taught a class on how to teach online courses a few years, or like 2 years ago, but a lot has changed and I've learned a lot. And so that link right there is free, and you can watch those videos. And then also to promote my bundle, my passive income bundle, here is all of my courses related to passive income, and you can get it for $9 a month, which is a really great deal. You couldn't do that on Udemy, and you could take them all in 1 month if you want, and not to subscribe anymore. But I don't think you're going to get through them all in a month. So that includes my teaching online course. It includes my screencasting course. It includes a course on writing ebooks, getting your email list started, freelancing, designing ebook covers, basically all the things that I'm using right now to build my online teaching career and my online businesses, but most of it's related to teaching online. So anybody that's interested in teaching online courses, that's a really good bundle to start with.
And I just had a question come in. I don't know the name because it's Smart Office Help, but asks how I enjoy using Teachable. Well, I actually don't. I am with Teachable. I've got some courses there. I don't actively promote to those courses. I don't actively promote to my Udemy courses. Everything happens organically for me. As I said earlier on in the show, I'm going through this training at the moment. It's costing me an arm and a leg, so I'm actually taking action because otherwise it's a massive waste of money. So what I'm setting up as far as my courses is concerned is going to be a membership site on my own platform, and I use a plugin called Optimize Press, which has a lot of pre-made templates, so it's very, very quick. And then I use a membership site, say Wishlist Member, and that's the way that I'll be doing all my courses. It's actually going to be. I'm not even using. I actually own an LMS WordPress plugin, but I'm not even going to be using that. It's going to be very, very cut down. Just WordPress, Optimize Press, and Wishlist Member, and then obviously that's hooking into autoresponders and e-commerce and everything else all very easily for me. Then part of my training is going to be, there's going to be core modules, probably about 6 or 7 core modules, and then there's going to be a number of live coaching sessions via webinar. So each of those live coaching sessions then goes into more depth to the core, but then opens up to something similar to this, like with interaction, so people can ask questions and get live coaching. And basically, so as a teacher, as an instructor, it's our responsibility to guide the person through to their learning objective.
Oh, we might have lost Tim. Okay, so Tim's gone, but can everyone still hear me? Okay, you can probably still hear me.
To keep them.
Okay, so just to answer your question about Teachable, since I am using it, I really love it. For me, it's relatively cheap. They take 10% for the free version. I just want to confirm, but they take, I think, 10% of each sale. And for the amount of backend that they supply, it's worth it. I mean, they supply the video hosting. They supply a really beautiful course experience for a student. You get all your analytics that you want. You get their email, the email address of new students. You can bundle courses. You can price them however you want. You could do subscription-based courses. And so for me, it's just really, really awesome. And for people who are coming from Udemy, you can do basically a one-click import of your Udemy courses onto Teachable, literally just copying and pasting the Udemy URL of your course, and it's on there on Teachable, ready to go. And so yeah, they do have a free version. It's no money a month, $0 a month, and they take 10% plus $1. But for courses that are selling for $97, $197, that's a pretty good deal. In the end, it might be more worth it to do like what Tim's doing, and creating your own platform. And I know other instructors that do that, like Rob Cubbin. But for me, it's just the ease and the hassle-free kind of support that they also give is really great, because if there's a problem with a student experience, there's support on Teachable that the student can get. And it's not up to me to figure out, is there some sort of web code or video issue? I can just ask Teachable support and they'll fix it for me. And so I highly suggest Teachable for people who are new to teaching online, to get control of your courses, to set your prices however you want them, and build your own audience because you get their email addresses. You can right now hook up Teachable with ConvertKit, I think MailChimp, I don't know what other email service providers, so that as soon as someone signs up for your course, they can get on an email list of yours as well. And you can have them go through an email sequence to either convert them from a free course to a paid course, or from a paid course to another paid course, or something like that. So Tim's hopping back on.
I didn't even get a blue screen that time. I just went black.
That's okay. I was talking about Teachable. I think everyone was having fun. It's fine.
I said you're a co-host, mate. I said I warned you at the beginning. You're in control.
Yeah, I took over the controls. It's fine.
When you've been in IT long enough, you just know not to get flustered, and just don't get flustered.
Someday, every single technical issue will just work itself out one day.
Yeah, one day, and that'd be a fantastic Udemy course, wouldn't it? How to have a perfect system.
Yeah.
Okay, I think what we might do, Phil's been very, very generous with his time, but I think it is time that we do wrap up. I'd like to once again thank Phil for the wealth of knowledge he shares so freely. And this is the point. If you're going to be successful online, you've got to move that free line, and you've got to be prepared to give information away, because that's the way you're going to be building your trust and your relationship and your rapport with your students. And then as they get to know you, they get to know your teaching style, they know that you know your stuff, then they are more likely to join you in your courses. So thank you very much, Phil. And thank you to you out there up along that top bar, because I know we all live in a very, very busy world, and taking the time to listen to us today is very important. So I appreciate you for coming along and joining, asking your questions and having a chat. And I wish you all well. And also you see the little actually I'm not even doing it for Phil. So in the little box next to our name up there, if it's white, that means you're not following us, and that's very naughty. So if you want to follow us, just click that little white box, and then you'll get notified next time that we're on Blab, either whether we're hosting or whether we're a guest on. Okay. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast, and I can't wait to do it again.
Perfect. Always a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you next time round.
Bye.